Hey everyone, I'm Chelsea Cross, host of The Chelsea Cross Show, and the new sexy series on Showtime, Masters of Sex, starring Michael Sheen and Lizzie Kaplan, brought to light many incredible points that millennials can learn from and debunked some of the stereotypes regarding today's generation. Masters of Sex takes us back to the 1950s, where we get to witness the pioneers in science and human sexuality explore what really happens to the body during sex for the first time, and some of the complications that come along with having sex. Thanks to Masters of Sex, we now know that the millennials did not create the hookup culture. Back in the 1950s, the hookup culture certainly existed. It just wasn't talked about. There was no social media to highlight it. It was way more taboo. The lead character, Virginia, proves that yes, women can have casual sex, but Virginia is certainly part of the small minority. What we do learn from Virginia during her casual encounters is that although it may be loveless, she still communicates to her partner what feels good for her. Women fake orgasms 20% of the time. Lack of communication equals bad sex, everybody. Don't settle. Character Dr. Ethan Haas' storyline brought up the important message: don't settle and don't change who you are because of anybody else. Dr. Haas was desperate to get married and proposes to a woman for three of the worst reasons: to get over someone else, because he's old enough, and because she was perfect on paper. We tend to think that jumping into the next relationship will help us get over that person, but in the end, it could just make things a lot worse. It's best to get over that person while single before you end up breaking someone else's heart. Here's a family reference. This is interesting. Both of my grandparents got married in the 50s. My father's parents got married at 18 years old and are now divorced. I asked my grandmother what went wrong in the marriage, and she simply said she never grew into a woman before she got married. Now, my mother's parents got married at 26 and 28 and are still together. 26 and 28 was on the older side in the 50s to get married. When I asked both of them why they married later in life, they unanimously both said that they both wanted to be established as individuals, they both wanted to be secure financially, and they never let age pressure them into getting married. And in relation to the whole she is perfect on paper, he's perfect on paper thing, the reality is no one is perfect. You may like tall, dark, and handsome, or blonde, blue-eyed, and long legs, but the man or woman of your dreams should fulfill your needs both emotionally as well as physically. The ultimate deal breaker between Dr. Haas and his fiancée on the show was that she wanted him to convert religions. At first, Dr. Haas agreed to changing his religion and later realizes that if she loved him enough, she would accept him for being Jewish. The millennial generation is the most diverse, liberal, and open-minded generation thus far. So it's not that shocking that interfaith dating, relationships, and marriages are on the rise. Before the 60s, about 20% of married couples were interfaith. Now, 45% of couples today are mixed religion. There is no denying that interfaith relationships will have more to discuss and to agree upon before getting married. The takeaway here is, as our world becomes more diverse, we still need to understand who we are as individuals and what values and beliefs mean most to us before committing to someone else. Stay tuned to my YouTube channel for What Millennials Can Learn from Masters of Sex Part 2. You can subscribe here, the link. And for more information on The Chelsea Cross Show, visit chelseacross.com.